Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I will be playing Delta Green. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. I almost forgot who I was. The scenario is Music from a Darkened Room. It was written by Dennis Detweiler, and it's available from Drive-Thru RPG and Arc Dream Publishing. I'm the game master for this scenario, and this is episode 5. Our recap will be given by Josh Harwood as his character Agent Fox. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Josh?
Thanks, Tom. Private notes. Item 5. People of interest. Peter Diaz found out he was a carpenter and baker. He moved to the house after leaving his wife and children in 1978. It seemed, from what we can gather from the research, he left to do more repairs, and he updated the mirrors. And in 1982, hung himself. I would like to say something strange is happening, but maybe he suffered from separation anxiety disorder. Being away from his wife and kids, left suddenly, maybe got attached to the house, and things happen. Lewis Tycroft, another person of interest who moved to the house, shot himself twice with a shotgun. That's a magnificent feat, so that makes me wonder if things were really happening. And obviously, as I would find out, things are happening here. Places of interest. We located the green box, and nothing of value was really found there, barring a few items. We found a note from our deceased agent and a casket. Coffin labeled Anton Ture, and a strange smell was already in the green box, and we found out that was it. Man, maybe our agent was going a little bit too crazy. That was my first thoughts. Maybe he had gone so insane, been by himself in a house or whatever, and he did this, but no. So Agent Hermes and Agent Lake, they took care of the coffin and got some supplies. Myself and Agent Jockey, we visited Miss Tycroft, the ex-wife of the deceased Lewis Tycroft. And she was very useful. She basically told us that her husband was obsessed with the house, and he basically loved the house more than her. Which comes back to that feeling that everyone's seemingly obsessed with this house. So my earlier diagnosis, it can't be separation anxiety disorder if more than a few people are suffering from the same bout of whatever it is coming from the house. We regrouped and we went to the house, and as we approached it, we heard some piano music. I cannot remember the tune it was playing, but it stuck with us. I decided straight away to go to the bedroom. I wanted to investigate those mirrors. They really got my attention. And so I just stared and stared and stared and stared. And then a coin rolled past me and into the mirror. At first I thought it could be some kind of trick, but it was no trick. I decided for my own safety not to touch the mirror. Agent Hermes joined me in there. As far as I'm aware, Agent East is outside, and Agent Lake and Agent Jockey are somewhere else in the house. Let's just hope everyone is safe and everything goes well.
Right. Let's jump right back to Agent Lake. Agent Lake has stepped into the foyer. He's turned and he's looking into the mirror on the closet door, and little boy with almost blue skin is looking up at you. He's put his hands onto the mirrors, and you can see that he's dripping wet. What do you do, Agent Lake?
I'm gonna very calmly sort of yell for the nearest person, like, hey, can I get some backup over here?
All right, so you yell out into the den, obviously.
Yeah.
Agent, well, any of you, except for Agent East, who's outside. You can come running when you hear him.
Okay, I'll respond, be like, what? What's up? I'm coming.
I'm like, I got something in the mirror.
I was just about to do something with the mirror in the master bedroom. I told you, it's something about the mirrors in this place. What's happening?
Are you leaving the bedroom, Agent Hermes?
Yeah, I told you.
Okay, so you're running out there.
Run.
Agent Lake, do a power roll.
Okay. That is an 86. That's a failure.
Okay. What happens is as Agent Hermes comes running, you glance over at Agent Hermes, and when you look back into the mirror, there's nothing there. But there are wet handprints, little tiny wet handprints on the glass of the mirror.
Wow.
Which Hermes, when you come up, you see them.
Wait, do you see those wet handprints?
Yeah, you're not crazy.
Yeah, something was.
All right, hold it. Well, this is fine. This is what I want to do in the master bedroom anyways, okay? So I go up to the mirror, okay? And, if you breathe on a mirror, like, your condensation will form on it. And then I just want to take a pencil and then just write H-I in it. Hi.
Okay.
Anything?
Nothing.
Do it again and do a smiley face.
Hermes, what do you think? This is a school bus?
It's a little kid. Little kids know hi and smiley faces. What am I supposed to do? Offer it ice cream?
The lights in the den, they flickered before. They flicker again now, a little bit.
Just once, like.
Just, yeah, a little bit of flickering, and then they stop.
Well, that could be anything. I don't know. I'm going to go get my pry. If I can bring them in with me, I'm going to get the pry bar tools from the car.
Okay. So you're going outside?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you're heading out the front door. Agent Lake, what are you going to do? Stay standing there?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna kind of stand in the doorway from like the bedroom to the den, just sort of looking back and forth, kind of suspiciously at all this stuff.
Okay. Agent Fox, you are still in the bedroom with the mirrors. Do a power roll.
That's a fail. Yeah, that's definitely a fail.
All right. As you are standing there, you suddenly feel as if something were breathing on the back of your neck, like someone else has come up very close to you, but you don't see anybody in the mirror.
Okay. I'm not gonna turn back, but I'm gonna kind of put my hand. This is a risky, but
there's nothing there.
Okay.
But
and
you do
I'm
start to
just
feel
standing.
you do start to feel a chill, as if the temperature in the room dropped.
Okay. All right. Something weird is happening here. But I want to see if something even weirder starts. So Fox is just watching the mirror constantly. And no matter what's going on behind him, he's still standing. He's determined to see how far this weirdness goes.
Okay. After a few moments standing there, you suddenly get the impression that there is someone else in the room. And as you are standing there looking into the mirror, you can see standing a little bit behind you, there is a woman. She's in a long dress. She has her hair is dark, but she has her hair up. And she is smiling at you, looking at you in the mirror. What do you do?
Again, keeping contact on the mirror because my assumption is if I look away, it may disappear. So,
Okay.
hello.
She smiles at you, and her hand goes down to the side like this. And you can see that she's holding a razor. Do a power roll.
Oh, biscuits.
Oh, fuck,
Oh
that's a
no.
fail.
You failed?
Yeah, I failed.
All right, we'll get back to you in a moment. Agent Jockey, what are you doing? You're in the hallway. You just saw a little paper airplane, a balsa wood airplane fly past you, and a little boy run down the hall. You also heard Agent Lake in the hallway.
I take it I heard them calling out they were calling out when they saw the reflection. Could I hear that?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I'll pick up the balsa wood airplane and I'll walk down to see what's going on. And as I walk into the room, I feel the cold and put my jacket around me a little more.
Okay.
What's going on?
You walk in and you walk over to where Agent Lake is. So now you're standing where he is, and he points out the wet handprints on the window. Agent Hermes, you've got your stuff. You're walking back in the front door.
Yes,
you're
sir.
in the den and you're heading towards the bedroom.
You got it.
Okay. Agent East, you're peeking in the windows of bedroom 4. As you look inside, you're surprised for a moment. It's almost, you think it might be a trick of the light, but for a moment you think you see an old woman in that room. She looks like she's standing in a corner, maybe holding something in her hand like a book. She's got her face turned away from you. What would you like to do?
Trying to get a look at what book she's holding.
You can't see the book. It's too far away, and it's a smaller book. But she's dressed oddly. She's dressed not in an elegant manner, but you almost get a sort of a gypsy vibe from her. That word's not so great to use, but she's got darkish skin, but not black. She's got black hair that's got a lot of gray in it, and it's all braided behind her back. And her clothes are a little colorful.
Is it Yamila? I can say out loud.
There's no response. She doesn't look like a modern woman. She looks like she's from 100 years ago. like you'd see in an old movie.
Yeah, it's bizarre, not quite what I was expecting. I can't think of anybody in the house who lived in the house that would be dressed like this.
Do a listen roll.
That is a fail on alertness.
Okay. You're not sure, but you think she might be saying something, but you can't hear anything more than, I mean, you might not even be hearing her talk.
Is the window locked?
Probably, but you could try it.
Yeah, I'll try to open it.
Okay.
I want to hear what she's saying.
Do a luck roll.
That's good. 37.
Okay. The window's unlocked, but as soon as you lift the window up, she's gone. There's nothing there.
All right. Well, we'll keep.
All right. So
Going
you're
around to the back door.
continuing around to the back door.
Yeah.
Okay. Agent Fox, you're standing in the room, and before you quite realize it, you realize that you are mimicking her movements. Your hand is out like this, and it almost feels like you're gripping something. And as you're looking at her, her smile gets bigger, and she brings the razor up like this to her throat, and you find that your arm is also moving up towards your throat, and you can see that you have a razor, a long straight razor in your hand. And that's about the moment that Agent Hermes, you step into the room and you look up and you see Agent Fox all alone in the room, but with a straight razor in his hand up to his throat, about to cut. What do you do?
What the fuck? I drop the tools, but take care not to drop them on my feet. And I run over and I try and, get around him so I can just grab the arm down and away from his throat.
That's a maneuver. So go ahead and see if you can, I don't know what they call it in this, grapple or...
Unarmed.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sure we don't
Unarmed
have to roll
fight.
for initiative first? Okay, that's a 16.
All right. So you manage to get it just as he starts to try to rake it across his neck. And at that same moment, Agent Fox, you sort of wake up out of it. And you are holding a bone-handled, ivory-handled razor blade in your hands, getting ready to cut your own throat, looking into the mirror. And the woman is gone. You can do sanity roll.
Yeah.
You can both do sanity rolls.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, do I need to do one? Because this doesn't look like standard.
That was a fail.
You
Well,
probably
it's
do a lot of yelling too. So
Oh
everybody,
yeah, I'm gonna get to that in a second.
Yeah, that was a extreme success. I don't know if that
I
counts for
failed.
sanity.
all right. If you failed, do a 1d6. If you pass, just take 2 points.
Okay, so I just lost 6 points.
Oof.
Uh-oh.
You want to project?
Yeah, you are, for just a moment there, you were really trying to kill yourself.
I don't know. I don't think he would, because he still can't. I don't think he would project it because he's more concerned about his own mental health right now. I think he would try to keep it bottled in. He wouldn't want to.
Well, you're sweating and you're shaking all over.
What are you doing with the straight razor? Where did you get this?
The smiling woman.
Right. Okay. Well, we
Agent
learned
Jockey,
something.
you're just a few feet away. Are you going to?
I'm in the room and seeing all this.
Well, you've been just right down the hall, literally a couple of feet. So
I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
just like to imagine he comes in and we're like in an awkward pose where like I'm
I
almost
imagine
like I'm
you-
hugging him.
I imagine you yelled when you did it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so-
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are all within 15 feet of each other at all times.
I literally just went.
And Agent East, you probably heard somebody yell inside the house.
Oh, and also me dropping the tools. That would have made
Right, that
What
made
the-
you clatter too.
the smiling woman, she had a razor in her hand. She was lifting it, and the next minute, I'm here. You're here, and I have a razor in my hand.
Okay, so this has gone then beyond just where it's something puppeting you. We now have it where
If
whatever object that you saw, you now hold this. You saw this object in the mirror.
yeah, that. Well, I also saw that coin. I saw that coin go into a mirror.
Okay.
So things can project in and project out.
I know there's been some, negative responses to my there's something up with the mirrors in this place, but allow me to, come back with a rebuttal. There's something with the fucking mirrors in this place. And I take a crowbar and I'd start not to break the mirror, but to get it into between where the mirror meets the wall, and I am starting to remove wall so I can get the mirror off the wall.
The thing is, I was testing to see. I was standing still, staring to see how far it would go. Now I know how far it would go. But if you hadn't walked in, Hermes, I could be dead right now.
Well, that was an interesting way to test. And now we know, don't accept razor blades from apparitions.
Well, I didn't have a choice. So I stood there, and then after a while,
I'm deflecting with humor. I'm freaked out. Okay.
So, Agent Hermes, what were you going to do at this point?
I'm taking a pry bar, and I'm not trying to break glass or anything. I'm more interested in removing plaster wall where it's that plaster is what attaches the mirror to the wall.
Okay, the mirrors are floor to ceiling and go from wall to wall. There's not really any.
There's no gap. It's all mirror.
No gap. It's all mirror.
No seam.
Well, there's a seam, but the seam is almost invisible.
Then I'll break a mirror if I have to.
All right. Well, give me a description of where you're going to break the mirror.
I thought that it was there was still where there'd be exposed wall between wall and mirror. So I don't think I would have brought like a razor thin pry bar with me. So I'm just gonna try and get, I don't know, maybe like a flathead screwdriver or something, and just try and get it in there. And
But where?
In the seam, like middle height of the seam.
Okay, against the wall, in the middle of the mirror.
Against the wall.
Against the wall. Okay. You probably get a screwdriver in there without much difficulty. You're going to drive it in, and then what? Try to pry.
Try and pry, and so that makes a gap, and then you go up a little bit, rinse and repeat, and just keep doing it.
Do a luck roll.
Okay. No.
Okay. You get the screwdriver in there, and you start to try to pry a little bit. And when you do, the mirror cracks all the way across the one piece of mirror, and the top part of it comes crashing down to the ground in front of you. Do a dodge roll.
That was bad luck. Okay. Oh, hang on. I gotta look at my stat. That's probably a no, though. That's a no.
All right. So you're going to get cut by a piece of falling glass. Do like a 1d3 of damage.
Okay. And I know how to roll that this time. Okay, that's 2.
All right. So you're going to take 2 points of damage. Your hand gets cut.
Ow! Damn it.
And you guys now all hear crashing glass coming from the master bedroom.
I didn't do it.
As a 3-foot wide but oddly shaped piece of glass comes crashing down to the ground and cracked. Shatters all over the ground. So now there's broken glass all over the ground. mirrors.
Also, as a question, because I took 6 points, should I have had a bout of madness? Because I took 6 points.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yes.
did you push it off onto your?
No, I didn't. I
Then
chose
yes.
to take it.
Oh yeah, that's
Alright.
big time
Should
bad.
be, yeah, fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
chose to
You
keep
might be
it. So
afraid of your reflection, and now that there's a bunch of mirrors everywhere.
I don't actually know how to handle insanity in this. I'm just going to use the Call of Cthulhu stuff. Do roll 1d8.
Come on, lots of cackling. Let's hear the cackling.
8.
Okay. 1d4.
By the way, who has the razor blade? I have it,
One.
right?
What'd you get?
1.
Okay. Yes, you have the razor blade, Agent
Should have
Hermes.
used that.
You got red mist. Only what you're going to attack is the surrounding inanimate object. So the mirror in front of you is probably what you'll attack.
Okay.
All right. Well, so basically, you probably start punching the mirror. I would like you, and it's going to craft. I'd
Yeah,
like
I
you to
might
also
fix it.
do a dodge roll to see if you can avoid getting. And I'm sure by now, Agent East is hearing crashing and everything else going on.
Right,
Whether
so
he's actually going to go in the
so-
house.
I rolled a
What?
44,
Okay.
but I only have base dodge, which is
So it's a crit
So I
fail.
so it's a crit fail.
Ooh, okay. So you're going to start punching that glass, which of course, Agent Hermes, you're watching. And well, you're going to take 1 point of damage is all. But you're probably getting that all over your knuckles where you're hitting the glass.
Mm-hmm.
Agent Jockey and Agent Lake, you are within 10 feet or so, and you hear this crashing and everything going on in the master bedroom. What do you do?
Yeah, so as soon as I hear the noise,
Yeah.
Jockey would have charged in to see what was going on. And if he can see them both freaking out and
No.
punching stuff.
Well, the first thing you think is that they're just freaking out and breaking the glass, but you can see that they're both bleeding. Agent Hermes is bleeding more than Agent.
Yeah.
Is it blatantly obvious that Fox is having like a...
Yes, he's as white
okay.
as snow, and he's sweating, and looks like he's got that glazed over look that cats get when they're
Nice.
attacking.
Can I roll a strength or unarmed to try and subdue him?
That would be like a fighting brawl. So
Okay.
Yeah, be unarmed.
I only have base in it, but
Is
We'll
Agent
try
Fox
it.
wearing a jacket?
Yeah, base is 40,
yeah,
so
probably.
Could
Yeah,
try
I
and
passed.
Pull down the jacket.
If you're wearing
16.
like a
Well,
suit
you
jacket
managed to
almost.
kind of wrap yourself around him, and he's punching the glass, but you're holding him back. There's probably also some yelling going on. How about you, Agent
yeah.
Lake?
I'm just behind. I'm like, what's going on in here? What is with all the broken stuff? Stop!
He went a little not sane and started punching the glass.
Fox, calm down.
Do you want to
I'll just help.
try and
Yeah,
take his legs? Try and
I'll
take
just
his
like
legs.
help. Yeah, I'll help sort of disable him for now.
There
You
is
guys-
a bed in this room, so
Just pull down his jacket a little bit. Haven't you ever seen a kung fu movie? He'll make his arms stuck.
Agent East, what are you doing outside? You can hear a lot of commotion all of a sudden.
I open up the back door
Okay.
and just yell, "What the hell's going on in here?"
Nothing good.
You don't
That'll
see
help.
anybody because you're looking in from right next to the chimney into the den, but something's going on. Glass crashing and commotion, yelling.
All right, well, sucking through my teeth, and I'm gonna go.
All right.
See what they've gotten themselves into.
When you step into the den, you can hear where it's coming from. It's coming from where the master bedroom is. It's getting crowded. So All you can basically do is go into the hallway and look into the room, and you see them all four sort of rolling around, grappling with each other. There's broken glass all over the floor.
I didn't think I was involved in the grapple, but okay.
Well, you're standing back holding your hand because you're bleeding. And you're
Okay.
probably sprinkling blood.
East,
Well-
come and give us a hand trying to
God,
calm Fox down. Don't know what the hell's going on.
And I'll explain. I'll give a recap. Listen, I went back to get my prying tools. I came in and he was holding a razor blade to his neck, and it was already starting to draw a trickle of blood. I grabbed his arm away, and here's the fucked up thing. He didn't pick this up off the ground or something. This is like an old ivory handle razor blade. So, and he said he saw it in the mirror being held by a lady also slicing her throat.
And so
No,
you
this-
just break the mirror. All right, just get Fox.
Nothing good is
Calm
coming
down.
out of
Let's-
these
we
mirrors.
Regroup outside. Get your hand. We need to get your hand bandaged up. This is
Agreed.
a disaster.
I don't know about
Agent
disaster.
Hermes, what did you do with the razor when you were trying to pry the mirror open? Or the mirror
Oh, I
down?
figured I just folded it and put it in my pocket.
Okay. It's not
Please.
there anymore.
Oh, great. So I was like, look, he was holding this razor blade. Well,
All right. Well, Jockey and Lake are trying to subdue him. I'm Agent Hermes. We got to get that bandaged.
Fox,
okay.
it'll only take a couple of minutes before you sort of
Okay.
come out
There's
of
a.
it.
We should have a first aid kit in the car.
yeah, probably.
Let me. Yeah, I have some skill in medicine, so
All right, I'll follow
me,
you.
Hermes.
And I know enough where I elevate my hand above the heart that will, help with bleeding.
Okay. Right. Why don't you do a first aid on Agent Hermes?
Nope, 62 is not enough.
It's a pretty deep cut.
I don't know if band-aids are going to do
Oh,
it, dude.
do you have a first aid kit?
Yeah, that's what he was using.
Yeah, if you have a first aid kit, it gives you plus 20 to one roll, but uses the kit.
Oh, okay.
So you no longer have a first aid kit, but it passed.
I'm good.
All right.
I don't know. Should
Okay.
we save it?
Well, with the plus 20, that's still not enough. I have a first
Yeah,
aid
and-
of 30.
Ideally, unless we don't have our equipment, like at least more than a couple of us should have first aid kits. It's a expense that we don't even have to take bond points to buy
All
them.
right, then go ahead and use a first aid kit on me.
You probably still need stitches.
Yeah, we have to take you to the hospital.
Oh, is it one of those wimpy first aid kits that doesn't have a suture kit? All right, whatever. Not going to argue.
We're not living in the Old West. Has a needle and thread and some whiskey.
Out of game, there was a long time I didn't have health insurance. You learn to do your own stitches.
All right. So you're all together now in the house. What do you guys want to do? I forget. Remind me what time it is. Is this daytime, morning?
No, it's night.
It was night.
night.
We went
That's
at
right.
We went at night.
All right.
Look, I mean,
Um,
I'm shouting to the front door like everybody out. Like we have one. If people want to stay here, I don't know why they would want to do that, but I have to take Agent Hermes to the hospital
all
or
right,
something. We have to do some kind of, because I have some medicine, but if we go get a suture kit or something and take care of it ourselves, we have to take care of this. He's gonna bleed out.
All right. So East and Hermes are walking out the front door to the car. Fox, you've calmed down, but you're still upset and sweating and angry. And what about the three of you? What are you going to do? Are you going to go with them?
I will, but I have a quite when I saw it, because I would have got a good, pretty okay glimpse of the woman anyway. What era did she look like she was from?
Probably the 20s, maybe.
Okay, so as far as we're aware, not someone off
Right.
the list.
And she looked like a lady, not just some person
Okay,
off the
so-
street.
As me, Lake and Jockey, I don't know if they're gonna come out with me, but as I'll say to him now that I've regained. The woman, I don't know if this helps, but she didn't look like anyone on that list per se. She was wearing like 20s attire. So maybe a previous occupant, maybe from the people who built the original house, maybe something else, but she was smiling when she was cutting her throat. So maybe we know how they're killing, how the people are dying. It's not actual suicide, like obviously we were already jumping to that conclusion of one actual suicide, but in fact these manifestations, that could be others, are doing the killing from beyond the glass, maybe?
Yeah, well, there was I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but there was that was the room where the police reported that it seemed like there was someone else standing in the room when the person slit their jugular.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So before we get caught up discussing,
Are we going to
these
assume
things-
you're all in the car?
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
I,
Okay,
lock, I
that's what I was
relock
wondering.
up the house.
Yeah.
I go and I have the keys, so I lock the front door again. I lock
Yeah.
the back door again. I shut that window that I opened.
Agent East, do a listen roll.
And I'll sort of stand watch to make sure that nobody comes up while he's doing
No,
so.
that's a fail.
Okay. So you managed to do that. You close the doors, lock them, and close the window. And then you're all piled in the car.
Mhm.
You guys do know we will have to come back here.
Yeah. With gasoline.
Of course, the mission, we're not done yet.
And nowhere near. That's, if anything, now I feel bad for sending that guy away. And even though I'm pretty sure he was still bullshitting.
Yeah, he was bullshitting. I don't know he would have much been help there, but just yell about more malarkey.
But he might
Malarkey?
have been some use.
Look, he was
But-
eccentric, but obviously there's something afoot here, and dare I say it, be a little bit more open-minded.
All right, listen.
Let's get something so somebody can sew your arm up.
Make
It
it sound
explains
like
the
it's gonna
shotgun.
fall off the wrist or something.
Let's
then.
just get some
It's
supplies,
just
and
a
then
gash.
if any of you know, if any of you know how to take care of something like that, let's just get supplies.
Another question I have, if any of you guys want to have a hypothesis for it, but if you're gonna help people go to the next life, almost like kill people, why would you shoot them twice with a shotgun? The first shot would have killed.
I've been thinking
about.
about that. What if he was resisting? It's like shoot yourself. It's like no, and then shoot yourself. Oh, I didn't resist again.
Right.
Possibly.
it
Well,
could
I
have just
don't-
been
For some reason, the presence in this house doesn't seem like it's helping people pass over or whatever the hell. You
No,
just
I didn't
said.
get that idea at all. It's very malevolent, whatever it is, except for the kid. I think the kid is just a kid.
But so here's the thing about your mirror theory. That kid is appearing outside of mirrors.
Yeah, but most of his manifestations involve the mirror. The coin rolling into the mirror, wet hands on the mirror.
Yeah, I never saw the. I saw the coin go into mirror. I never
It's
saw
not
the woman.
necessarily a mirror. I don't think. I'll show the Polaroid snap of him in the
Okay.
just in the middle of the room. Something to do with light. So
Something to do with light, you think?
perhaps while we're out to get the kids to sew your arm up and bandage Fox's hand.
Yeah, they're gonna have to debrid his hand of all the glass he punched into it.
I mean, that's like one of us with first aid can do that.
Okay.
Slowly pick
I-
the glass out.
I
could
had
probably do
an
that
idea.
myself.
Where, what if we could do both of these, but there's the two ideas I had. One, set up surveillance cameras in the place. So that way, if anything's questioned, it's like, are you sure that's what happened? I don't know. It happened so fast. What does the tape show? What's on the video? The other idea is that a lot of this stuff seems to happen when we're alone in a room. And there's an old-timey way to take care of a situation where you need to get someone out of a dangerous area very quickly when they're nearby. Put a rope around them.
Okay, so first of all, I'm not saying we shouldn't do either of those, but let's remember what we're doing here. So, you know, as we're driving, I'm like, look, we had 3 mission parameters. Remember? Okay, 1, and I kind of make sure that we're, you know, it's just us in the car, and find out the circumstances of our agent's death, of Garrett's death, like the surrounding his death. Find out the circumstances there.
The
2,
house got to him.
determine if the Spooner House is a threat to the public.
Yeah.
Cross that off the list. Yes, it is. Done.
Yeah.
3, call it in. So all we need to do is figure out the circumstances beyond Garrett's death, and then our next step is to simply call this in, because we already know that it's a threat to the public and a threat to us if we stick our nose too deep in it.
I like it. Did you all see my
The
note?
circumstances around his death, Agent Fox just almost died in the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the circumstances surrounding his death are solved. The house,
Because the
got to him.
coroner didn't have the razor blade. The police didn't have the razor blade that he used in custody. And the razor blade that Fox tried to kill himself with, just barely, is gone.
Right, but is that enough to tell A?
Why not?
What else do you want to know?
I'm just making sure that we're all ready to. I mean, if you think that we've already gotten those things done, then we can start calling this in and then see what our
Let's
next
call
course
it
of
in
action
then.
is.
Hey, I want to return to the house with gasoline. And in my previous report, I said that the entire place should be vitrified with thermite. Fuck
but-
that house.
Well,
The
you
thing
can
is-
you can tell that to A. Tell it
Would
to
a
I
A.
house-
will. I did.
Will it
It's in the
stop
report.
burning it down? Will it stop the house? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think we, as you
Okay,
said,
there's
we've got
one
the
thing we
three
are
we got the
forgetting,
2 parameters.
I
We-
agree. I like that I think we've met all the parameters personally, but there is one other thing that we still got a timer ticking away on. The journal. It's going to be translated soon.
Yep.
I don't know if it's going to be, oh, I figured out how to, make the house stop screwing with me. It's
Lit-
this. But
And listen, let's make sure you 2 are all right. Wait for the journal, read that, and then decide if we want to do anything else or if we want to call in an ASL. How about that?
sounds good.
Well, that's the thing. If we call an ASO, he might just ask us to get rid of. Now we've got to get rid of.
Okay.
Contain the house or something. So maybe because we could just call into ASO now
No,
because
you're right.
urgency.
I got all, this has been a lot, but you're right. We should wait on the journal.
All right, let's wait on the journal. So take me to the Minute Clinic or whatever. Could be a veterinarian's office for all I care.
Right. Well, no, I mean, this is Chicago. There's plenty of places you can go. You go to the General Hospital and you cut your hand. So they'll fix you up. You
Do I get
probably,
that HP back or
what's
does
that?
work like that? Do I get the HP back or?
I think it's a D4. I think it's like a D4 for first aid and a D4 for hospitalization, but circumstances may differ.
Well, in this case, it's just a big cut on his hand.
Right.
They'll stitch you up and they'll bandage it and tell you to, not use it for a couple of days. That's up to you, though. So
If need be, I'll use it, but try
we'll
not
say you bring your HP, what, +4.
I mean, it's only down 2, but okay.
Right. So you're back to normal. It's just
Well-
painful and inconvenient.
You mean like life? Got it.
All right. And so what are you going to do after
Well, what's the timer on the journal now?
tomorrow? Probably.
Tomorrow.
Who's feeling pancakes?
I'm feeling sweet.
Well,
Yeah, Fox needs a good cold shower and a good nap.
yeah. All right, fine. I'll get
Guys, I say we all get in a little nap and then we can wake up and maybe get the professor on lunch.
Well, it's nighttime, so
That's what I'm saying. We like.
Okay.
I mean, how late at night is it? I guess we could wake up early and see
9?
him.
Probably only about 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, okay, good. Then yeah, well then I guess we can go early then. We'll get some sleep and we'll go early then. Maybe get him in his office hours, and
Well,
he
it's the
should be
grad
done.
student that has the journal, not the
Right,
person.
that's what I mean. Like they should be
Yeah,
done.
okay.
So.
Okay. No one wants pancakes? Yeah, me.
I'm not feeling very peckish, to be fair.
Maybe later. Let's finish this first.
Alrighty.
All right, I will use the burner phone to tell Acel what we know.
Okay.
Wait now
Yeah.
or
You have to
Yeah,
do that.
why
In a,
not?
you have to do that kind of in a coded manner, so that if anybody picks up.
why don't we just do it all at once? You're gonna do it twice in a row?
What do you mean? What else
We're-
are we gonna?
We're waiting for the journal to get translated like the morning, like this morning. Like once we sleep, we're gonna wake up and go get the translation. Shouldn't we just tell Acel about all of that together?
Well, I'm more saying that Agent Fox has encountered an entity in the house that tried to get him to slit his own throat in the same manner that Agent Garrett died. That's the first two things. Yes, it's a threat, and we know how it killed Agent Garrett. How would you like us to proceed?
I mean,
have
I guess
translation of journal of previous occupant pending.
Okay.
How would you like us to proceed?
I agree with Agent East.
All right.
All right. Are you going to text that?
Never de-established. How
Well,
one would?
It's tricky
Talk to
because you have to say everything in code so that anybody who happens to pick up the transmission doesn't
Really?
understand it.
We don't have like a common book that we all share and like it's like page 72, third paragraph, fifth word.
No, we're talking about Acel. How are we gonna get this to Acel?
No, what I just mentioned is a common way of to secretly,
Like a code book.
yeah.
Like mail them a book? What do you mean?
No, he means that you have a common code that you use
Oh.
for, 13925 means.
But if you wrote it
danger.
down somewhere and then you got shot, then now the enemy has the book.
No, okay. Let's say we both have the exact same edition of
We'll
whatever
just
you're.
we'll just
yeah.
say that you have a means to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean there are Delta Green codes. So.
Yeah, if they had given us the instructions to tell them, I would hope that we would know how to do that. Otherwise, that's a whole other bag of cats.
Yeah.
Most importantly, you're probably telling them that the priority on this house is higher than what they thought that it was.
Yes.
Yeah, it's no longer low level and low key. It's dangerous and
It is actually trying to kill us.
repeatedly.
Okay.
Thermite
After you do that, 15 minutes or so go by, and you get a code number back that simply says, keep us informed, but no instructions.
Okay. See what the journal says, and I'll keep you informed how hot gasoline is as it burns down the house.
This house
I
hasn't
know.
burned down in the past.
That's because a neighbor put it out.
It was a miracle that the house did not burn down. End quote. Fireman said that.
Okay, then we go with my thermite idea.
Where are you gonna get thermite, Hermes?
I don't think.
It's
We need to
aluminum
just-
powder and all right. Wait,
Look,
no way on the journal.
The,
So you
I'm
can
fine with
figure
I'm
out a
fine
way
with
to-
brains. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
We need to figure out a way to contain the house, not burn
Right.
it down or anything, to safely contain it.
I'm fine with
All right.
brainstorming, but let's wait. We got some more information coming
Okay.
in. You know.
All right, we could just seal it in concrete.
After
How about
an
for-
hour,
Yeah. of us rambling at each other. Yeah.
after an hour, you get on your phone something without a code. It says find out why. Not really sure how you would code that. So it just says find out why, which doesn't mean anything to anybody except you.
Find out why? What is this, a philosophy class? What do they mean, why?
Well, they probably mean like how it came about.
Yeah, they
Like
want to know
how
more.
it started,
I
like
want
the
to know
origin.
what it is, not just that it's dangerous.
Like I was saying, they're gonna want more information.
Okay.
So let's just sleep on it.
Yeah.
Get
We'll
the
sleep on it.
information tomorrow.
See, the thing is, we know there's a threat there. We need to assess because if it get out? Could it get out into the open world and start doing it to other people?
We can
Going into
start.
other
We can
houses.
keep
It's
asking these
contained to
types
the
of questions
house.
all day.
Well, I can tell you this, Fox. Sorry, I can tell you this, Fox. It will not. We have a record of throughout the years, throughout decades, of how it has taken people out in this house.
Yeah, from
It
this,
is-
but
It has only posed a threat to Garrett because he went in the house. It only posed a threat to us because we've been in the house.
but we got to keep in mind that it could move. We don't know. We don't know what it is. So
Boo.
Oh, we better figure out what it is then, huh, Fox?
Yeah.
and now Fox going to sleep. He probably just falls asleep on the floor. He probably doesn't even go to bed. He go into a bed. He's very tired. Very tired boy.
Well, I've lost blood, and I'm going to replace that with cholesterol in the forms of a Denny's Grand Slam.
All right. So we'll say you all eat.
To
You
go.
all end up going back to your apartment. Is there anything you want to do this evening before you go to bed?
I'm thinking of preparation for a future question. Did the house have a mail slot?
Yes.
Good question.
Work.
Okay. So I
Good
want to go
third.
buy like camcorders, so things that we can actually like film and watch at the same time instead of waiting for Polaroids to develop. I want to get like some little hand like makeup mirrors.
Okay.
And then a few like tape recorders. And before I go back to sleep, I want to stop by the house and start a tape recorder and chuck it through the mail slot.
Okay. How are you going to pay for all that?
How am I going to pay for it all? Cash.
Yeah. Where are you going to
Pennies.
get cash? You take it
Well,
out
I
of your
better
ATM?
have cash in my Delta Green bag, otherwise.
Well, there's a wonderful thing about spending your own money. You can use your own money.
Well, as long as you can't, it doesn't get traced back. So you'd have to go to an ATM, get out the money, and then spend it.
Right. And then your one of your bonds might be like, hey, why the hell did you pull out $4,000 cash?
I needed a massage.
If you're willing to take a bond hit for it, you know.
Yeah, well, I'd rather not die. I'm trying to figure this out so I can go
All right.
home. So
Well, we'll assume that you cover yourself so that you're not going to get traced. So give me a list. You have what? A couple of, well, you make your own list, whatever you want to get.
all right.
A couple of tape recorders, a camcorder.
Yep. So two tape recorders, camcorder.
You want to set up equipment. Just like in that great movie Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So,
documentary.
So two tape recorders with extra tapes. A player if those are separate devices.
I think usually camcorders can play back, can't they? Even back then.
Yeah, camcorder. And some makeup mirrors. I'll just say like
compacts.
yeah, little compact.
Yeah, you can find those at any drugstore.
Yeah, so 5 compact mirrors.
Little powdering size.
Something that's reflective that we take in with us, but that's, you know, difficult to shatter and then cut yourself horribly with. And I think that's really what I was after. And then I want to check. I want to start a tape recorder going and deposit it.
Do you want to go over there tonight and do that?
Yes.
Are you going alone?
I'll go with you. You just tap me.
I suppose Agent Hermes is coming with me.
Okay.
The answer is no. I don't want to approach that place by myself.
Okay. As far as
All
I'm
right.
concerned, this place has drawn blood.
The rest
It's
of you are
on.
probably going to bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna just keep a watch over Agent Fox.
All right.
And on the way
Fox is
there, I'm
just-
just going on. It's like, thermite, it's actually not that complicated. It's literally rust and aluminum powder. Technically, if you open enough etch sketchers, you remember etch sketchers, that's aluminum oxide right there.
Yeah,
But
the
we-
problem with burning this place down or blowing it up or covering it in cement is that's going to draw a hell of a lot of attention, Agent Hermes, and I don't want that.
It was asbestos with swamp gas.
Yeah, and why are you dealing with it?
Because the government told me to.
Yeah, and when you're caught and they're asking these questions, it's going to be like you never existed. No one's going to come save you.
Honestly, the house was built at the turn of the century. Probably does have asbestos and lead paint
I
and
know.
everything else.
Oh, and don't forget the
Make toxic clouds to go to the neighbors next door. Remember, there are neighbors on either side right next door.
I actually
or in their
imagine
house
it would have the green wallpaper that was created using arsenic.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
So one big toxic cloud to go over and kill the neighbors.
Nice.
All right. As you guys park your car in front of the house, the odd discrepancy between the fact that the house looks so ordinary for a house, and yet you know that there's something malevolently watching you through the black windows along the front. It's very disconcerting. And as you step up onto the porch to a listening hole,
Both of us, I guess. Since
yeah, you're both walking up there.
Look, I still can't pass one of these things.
I guess we were playing the music in the car too loudly. Sorry, Duran
Okay.
Duran.
All right, so you're going to carefully put it through the.
Yep, so start it. And through the mail
It's-
slot.
It's going to go through the mail slot, and you'll hear it clank on the floor.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you hear it fall on the floor, and then I suppose you're leaving.
Yes. Yep.
All right. So you get back in the car and you head back home, and then anything before you go to sleep.
More pancakes. No, I'm kidding.
Anything important to the game before you go
No.
to sleep.
No.
No.
All right. I'd like you all to do Constitution rolls.
Okay. Nope.
That's a fail.
Pass.
Oh, that is actually a success.
Agent Lake.
That's a success on the alertness. You
All
said?
right.
Yeah.
If you succeeded, you managed to sleep through the night without too much discomfort. If you failed, you toss and turn all night. You have weird, visions of being chased down the street by a house.
What?
Yeah, it's
Like an
a dream. It doesn't make
anthropomorphized
any
house?
sense. It doesn't make any sense. You just have dread for that house. All right. Next morning comes. It's 8 o'clock, 8 a.m.
All right.
Or it's 9 a.m. if you go to breakfast. And then
Can't miss breakfast.
Okay, so I want to swing by and pick up that tape recorder and then go to the university about the translation.
All right,
Okay.
As long as we can get coffee on the way there. I'm in.
you grab the tape. You're gonna have to open up the door and go in.
Yep, I open up the door to retrieve the tape recorder.
All right, it's still laying there right on the ground where you left it. Tape is completely full.
Okay. Well, time to rewind it and start listening on the way over
Okay.
to.
Yeah, you
university.
can't hear anything inside the car. The car makes itself too much noise. You'll have to sit quietly in a place to hear if there's anything.
You think it's worthwhile to connect it to a signal analyzer? Maybe there's,
We'll
some
have to let's
audible
give it
tone.
a brief listen first.
Okay.
So you realize on your drive over to the university that you'll have to take it back and sit with it quietly
Okay, that's
to
fine.
listen to it. All right, you get to the university and you locate the student that was doing the translation, and she says, "Well, it's very strange, especially towards the end, but here you go." And,
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
you
it.
pay her whatever you
Yeah.
pay her.
We appreciate it.
All right, so you're gonna probably sit someplace and read it. She translated the whole thing. It's gonna take about 2 hours to go through.
Okay, well,
Even
let's
if
go
we split
back
it up?
to
How do I split it up? It's a thing you're going to read.
All right, fine.
so whoever I will listen to the tape during
Okay.
this
Okay.
time.
I'll do the journal.
Somebody else
if
wants
you guys
to
want.
read the thing.
I'm interested. Yeah.
Blake, you can do it. I can do it. Whatever you guys want. Just here to help.
All right.
I mean, the rest of us are just gonna be sitting around anyway. So
So yeah, you're gonna Agent Hermes can read the journal out loud if he wants to. That's what's going on. All right. So I'll give you a summary of the journal. It's going to take you a couple hours. So it's going to be, let's say, 10, 11. It'll be about 11 o'clock when you guys are done. And then we'll go over the tape.
Yamila Irizarry's diary. This diary belongs to Yamila Irizarry. She moved here from the United Arab Emirates. She was the second oldest daughter of a wealthy family. She saw the house while on break from university, fell in love with it. For a year, she obsessed with it, even making Andrea Falcone, the former owner, an outrageous offer of cash for it. Okay. Has Falcone come up in our research?
Yeah, she died in the house. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think she suffocated.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Then in 2002, Andrea Falcone had an accident. Oh, okay, this is it. Okay. And was suffocated in the upstairs bonus room. Okay, the loft. Yamila did not know any of the details, but the house soon went on the market and she purchased it. She mentions that she was approached by an FBI agent shortly before she moved in who warned her that something was terribly wrong with the house and that she should seriously consider not moving in. She thought he was crazy. She moved in immediately after graduation from university. She began decorating, frantically adding her own modern flair, but quickly realized her style wasn't working with the architecture. So she changed everything and started looking for antiques. As a result, she became rather famous among the locals, spending large sums of money on the place. And then, rather suddenly, she became a recluse. After that, she begins writing about strange things happening in the house. At first, small things, but then more interesting and disturbing things. She begins seeing a small, wet blue boy from time to time. And then she saw an old ethnic woman who spoke in a raspy Italian dialect. She heard whispers everywhere. On 2 separate occasions, she had a terrible dream of a woman trapped inside the mirrors of the master bedroom. Yamila was becoming unhinged. She began sleeping on the couch and avoiding the master bedroom. She walked through the rooms over and over again. The last entry in her diary reads, "Now I understand. This is where I'm supposed to stay forever. Now I'm home." Well, did the lady in the mirror get released because the mirror was broken?
Let's hope not.
Well,
All right. Agent East, you were quietly listening to the tape. Do a listening roll. Probably doing that thing where you turn it up all the way.
Yeah. And now, will I pass this one? No. Actually, that's 100.
can other people listen with him?
I just rolled 100.
Really?
That's correct.
Yeah, you don't hear a damn thing. But yeah, maybe the others are listening along.
Maybe let's say Fox is with East. Just they're listening. I'm assuming a listen roll.
Yeah.
Just listening to the crackle of this, I need to go grab some
like
headache
this,
medication.
Okay, that's 43 on 60 for a learner.
All right. Agent Fox, as you're listening to it, you get to a section where to Agent East it just sort of sounds like static, but you keep playing it back and forth, and it sounds to you a little more like there is a woman speaking Italian. It sounds almost like she's reciting something.
East? Can you hear that?
Hear what?
Yes.
I mean, it's sort of there, East, but you're not sure that it's just.
It's mostly just static. You're
Italian.
might just be here, like having a hallucination. I don't hear anything.
Does anybody have Italian?
I have Spanish, if only. Some words cross in Spanish.
Yeah. I mean, it's a Latin language.
Roll Spanish. If you crit, you get half of it.
Roll Spanish. Yeah, if you
speak Italian.
Crit. Do you?
Wait, do you?
Yeah. I'm part Italian.
All right.
Jockey.
Well, Agent Jockey, do a listen roll to see if you hear it.
Come on.
Yeah,
I rolled a 4.
Wow.
Still rolling my Spanish.
All right.
Give me a moment.
Doesn't matter because John Dory here, Agent Jockey heard it, but I did pass my Spanish from by 1 point.
You determined that it is not Spanish.
It's like, oh, that word is, I think, also that's the verb for to go. I think.
Spanish and Italian are pretty close.
Yeah,
they're
Isn't casa house in both languages?
If you speak one, you can probably understand the other one.
A little bit.
There are some phrasings different, but
some of the words are completely different.
Yeah.
Talk amongst yourselves while I try to find where this is. Didn't expect you guys to get it so easily.
Well, thank God I put points in Italian. I don't even want to know the chances of that.
I mean, I think that this, sometimes I think the way this game wants you is to just like blow everyone have blow points into one language and then just them never get used until they do, and that's you're happy that you brought it.
I never put language into I never put skills into anything to do with language in Call of Cthulhu. This is the first time I've done it.
So is your the thing that you decided to build from your profession, does that give you points in a language of your choice?
No, I think it was a personal or a background interest.
Yeah. Some of them do though. Like some of the professions people do not like
you
because
get background
they make
interest
you
points. Have I just been rocking with less points than I should have?
Yes, you got 8. You should have taken 8 20-point packages in any skill.
By the way, what is this in the chat? Don't forget to roll those 1d4s.
That was for I thought Fox was lowering the hit, his SAM hit. I thought he was projecting on a bond, but then he said that it wasn't.
No.
Oh, okay.
If it was something other than him trying to kill himself, he would have. But
I thought you were referring to there's some Delta Green.
There is. I'll put it in chat.
Yeah, when you fail a skill, at the end of the session, you roll 1d4 minus 1, and you improve.
Oh, that's what he's referring to.
Yeah.
Okay.
When it comes to foreign languages, I always try to pick one of the common languages just in case. But recently, because of the Cabreras, I've just been putting Spanish on everything.
I speak American.
So the gist of what it is, it's kind of a sing-songy chant. And you can pick out words like un modo scuro, ho something or other, a dark way I have traveled, and something about taking away the pain, or rather, it's a word that means to move something from one place to another, like not translation, transfer, yeah. And there are references, it sounds sort of like, you can barely hear it, thousand-faced moon, you think is one of the phrases.
The fuck does that mean?
But other than that, can't quite make it out. It definitely sounds like a prayer or
A song?
a spell of some sort. But it sounds like an Italian woman, an old Italian woman, saying it. Agent East, did you tell anybody about what you saw through the window?
I'll mention it. In fact, about this Italian, I can mention the woman that I saw with the book.
Well, that's probably from her, and I explain the translation to them.
Wonder what a thousand-faced moon means. But let's remember this: the Wheelers, right? That's the name, right? The original people. Did I get the names right? Sorry, there've been so many names. Yeah,
Wheeler.
So Wheeler, the wife, she's in a lot of pain for years. Maybe they tried magic to heal
I mean,
her?
it's not out of the realm of possibility at the minute. Sounds as good a reason as any.
And for whatever reason, we don't know when whatever magic was done exactly, but I think it worked at some point, because she came out not only being able to walk again, but she looked at least 10 years younger. So but she also dies.
Ace thought it was Yamila, but it's probably Miss Wheeler. Do we know if Wheelers were Italian?
No, Wheeler, no.
No, I don't think the Wheelers were Italian, but maybe they consulted with someone who was?
Yeah, maybe. To help ease the pain.
Yeah. I mean, if you're rich and your spouse is in a lot of pain, it doesn't take too long where, with all the doctors saying, like, I don't know, you're going to start trying some stuff that ordinarily you wouldn't try.
I mean, well, it sounds like something. I mean, at least we've got a. It's not. At least we're not sort of clutching at hers anymore. It sounds like we've actually got something a bit more solid.
For sure.
I wonder who she is.
Wonder who she is too. Also, there's this. This house has had so many owners.
Yeah.
And the owners have fixed it up, but fixing it up seems to be tolerated by whatever this presence is. But anytime they try and change it, think about the journal we just read. She goes in there to change it. She's someone from a completely different background. Yamila is from the Mideast. She's not, a generational American. She's not Italian. She goes in there trying to do her own cultural background, right. And all of a sudden it's like, nope, I don't like that. We were just in the house. It's old timey still. So this is old timey presence in there.
The strange thing, people spending time in this house, I see it impacting them, but these people who are buying this house, they don't ever go inside. They get obsessed with it long before they buy it. Like Yamila just drove past and was hooked. Whatever it was got her, Agent Garrett. was.
Maybe some people are
I
more
mean, he was a bit more
susceptible?
involved, but his obsession with it started before I think he realized that he had one.
Well, that's a lot of obsessions. I understand what you're saying. No, that is an interesting point about Yamila, where she did just drive by it and became obsessed with it.
And tried to buy it from the owner, the previous owner, before the owner had even died. The influence that it exerts is not confined to the house, if that makes sense. It's not within its walls. It extends beyond.
I mean, I know you guys said, how would we cover this up? There has to be a point where the need for secrecy has to be met with our ultimate goal of the public good. And if some people are susceptible to whatever this is and they get affected by it, then we at least need to put a concrete wall up around the plot. I'm not saying it's a sarcophagus or anything. It could be just walls that, are with heavy doors, something.
How are you going to do that discreetly? And that's just going to also draw more attention to this place.
Damn it.
When Mr. Wheeler died, was there any record of someone taking care of Miss Wheeler?
Not that we have.
No.
Because her pain was only temporarily alleviated, was it not? And it came back.
When was it temporarily alleviated?
No, it was miraculously healed.
Yeah, it was miraculously healed.
All right, okay.
And they also
just,
says that she looked younger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she just got better. Like, people didn't see her for a long time, but
Yeah, and I'm thinking, does anybody have the page with the? Can someone send me the page with the people and how they died again?
Sure, I'll look for mine.
Thanks, because I'm thinking here, this isn't. Yeah, I'll do this in character. He says. So I'm thinking, if we look at this isn't like one of those old ghost house movies, right? It's not like we got people that like, oh, a person died here 20 years ago and it looks like that ghost. Like, no, there's apparently this old woman who speaks Italian. There's a woman in the master bedroom and this poor blue wet boy who looks like he was, he drowned or died of or was strangled in the cold or something. We've got incidents where these three have shown for multiple people, and we have multiple people who have died in this house, and yet they haven't added. Like, it's just these known presences. The presences haven't really changed, but there was that woman who was shot into she was shot embedded in the mirror, right? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, but other than this, I mean, the woman I saw with the book is hard to place, but the boy, we know the boy died at the house.
We know what the boy was.
The man with the shotgun who Hermes saw the other day also died in the house. Yamila killed herself with the razor to the throat in that same room.
Right, so some of them... Yeah, some of them did die in the house. What I'm saying is, it doesn't seem that everyone who dies in the house is a presence, or at least we haven't seen them all. I mean, I feel like
we don't know whether or not they're there.
But I mean, with this list, I mean, I feel like we would have seen more than just the 3 or 4.
Well, we haven't. In all honesty, we have not spent a whole lot of time in there
for good reason. But I guess we're going to have to. I mean, I don't understand what we're supposed to do now. What do they want from us? They want to hold a seance, find out why these people are so upset.
No, what we need to do is, if in these obituaries, if they have photographs of these people, if we can get photographs of Yamila, whoever we can get, these people that have died at this house, if we can get their photos, we can track who we've seen and who we haven't seen.
Question for the keeper. Tom, did Isabel recover after her husband died or before?
Yeah, quite a few years afterwards.
Okay, well, quite a few years. Then that means if it was quite a few years after, she couldn't have been. There was no record of her being in like a home or anything.
No.
She lived in her home, her house.
She lived in her home.
Yeah, I meant as in a retirement home. Sorry. So she couldn't have been living by herself. She couldn't have been taking care of herself.
We have no record of who that would be.
Yeah, no, I know that. I'm just saying that's just something to keep in mind.
She definitely had the means.
So you're right. This mystery person that we can't place where they were in the house could have been a caretaker, but we don't know. And it's the research back that far is we have no way of obtaining those records. Also, if we go back to the house and we look through Yamila's belongings, I wonder if she has photos in her that she's taken in the house.
You know what we should also do? Just catalog what's in the house. Most of it's empty. Just catalog what's in there. Maybe there's an old antique or something.
Oh, it's full of old antiques. I mean, Yamila bought... Not full. Full is the wrong word. But if we can start checking off who we've seen and who we haven't.
Okay.
In the house. So if we can go back, if we could find pictures and obituaries, and if we can find a photo album that Yamila has of pictures when she lived in the house.
Well, it's daytime now, so it's safer to go there if we just want to catalog stuff as opposed to interacting with whatever's in there.
Yeah, let's do that.
I think we go there during the day, try and learn more about the objects in the house. And then if we feel we need to and or are better prepared to, then we go back at night and you know what happens around then.
So I'm assuming that ASL wants us to find out why Arthur Donnelly, his house, and why this is going on. So I guess that's what we got to figure out is why, like, what are the circumstances for poor Agent Donnelly, and why, for Agent Garrett, Arthur Donnelly, and why all these people are dying.
So I mean, by why do you mean the motivation of whatever this thing is?
I suppose. I mean, I'm just that it seems that's all we have left to do is find out why.
Well, I guess more of why and how. I think how much.
How it got there and why it does what it does.
Yeah.
The Whalers, that battle incident, it took place around 1920s, right?
Yeah.
And the lady you saw was from the 1920s.
30s. Yeah. Well, I know that because my family's part Italian, 1920s. Italians weren't treated the best over here.
Oh yeah.
So if it was a spirit talking about easing the pain, it could be something to do with that.
The Wheeler woman.
Yeah.
She lived in the house for decades before she passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was the longest occupant, I believe, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was the first and longest resident.
Occupant. Yeah.
So what that means, I mean, the events that transpired while she lived in the house, we're not going to be able to research our way into that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Fox, the lady you saw, you said it looked like her attire was from the 1920s?
Yeah. 1920s.
Wonder if that was her.
Now, Donnelly was saying that the house was talking to him.
Talking to him. I mean,
I wonder
when
if it
there
will
was the
start
recorder.
talking to us.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering here. So when we have the second, I'm looking at several things here. So the second family were the Creases, correct? It was the Wheelers and then the Creases, right? Those are our first two.
I'm looking.
Right.
So it mentions that when the Creases were there, of course, the one woman was embedded in the wall-length mirror. So when the Creases were there, the whole wall-size mirrors were already there. Have they always been a part of the house, or is that something that the Wheelers added? Do we know that?
How would we have no way of knowing that.
Yeah, we don't know if the Wheelers added it, but I have an inkling that the Wheelers put that in because anytime someone tries to go in there and saying, well, this place is so old, I'm going to decorate it my way. They end up not doing that at all. So if it's such a large change. And also, one of the articles also mentioned how someone restored
Yeah, that's
the
because
large mirrors. Hang on, I have it in my notes.
that's what I'm looking at here. Is that we have a mention, like we have one mention of a woman being shattered, like into her shards going in the mirror, and then we have somebody restoring them, implying that they were already there.
Here we go.
So
1957.
right,
Friends of the Creases noticed huge behavior changes in them, and Margaret Crease spends huge sums of money to restore odd, huge wall-length mirrors in master bedroom. They are original.
Exactly. So they're original. Either the Wheelers put them in, or they have always been there. So our first family,
that built the house.
The Wheelers built the house.
That's right. So that's what I'm saying. Is in like they were built with them, or they were added by the people who built the house. So
that's one and the same.
Yeah.
The Wheelers built the house. So
right.
Mirrors original. Yes.
Right. So I think it has something to do with these mirrors, because everything it has to do with the mirror, obviously. So maybe, I guess we'd have to look into,
I was just trying to see if there's something behind the mirror, like some weird.
Well, maybe it's the glass. Like maybe there was something about the glass or the sand that was used or something. I don't know.
Well, I also
it wouldn't be the same sand that was used, because then a restoration wouldn't work.
That's a good point.
It depends on how much money you're willing to throw at something.
As I said, I'm not entirely sure the focal point should be on this particular mirror, but
I think
on things like cameras and I guess mirrors, things that
I think
modify light.
I think we're all in general agreement. Go there during the day, explore it some more, look at items in the house.
Yeah, I wanted to see if she had a photo album. But before we do that, I want to collect as many photos of the people who have died there as we can.
Yeah, and I think there's some missing links that we should try to fill in here. I mean, like in these newspaper articles, like we have all this stuff, like what's up with Isabella and being cured and this ailment she had, because like I think that it obviously started with that first family, those first two families. Like it has to start with the Wheelers even.
Right, but I mean, how this? I mean, most of her medical care and things happened in the 20s, 1910, 1920s, and she died in the 40s.
She died in 56.
Is it to be impossible?
She died in 56.
And she died in 56. So
I'm just saying, we can all agree that the mirrors are tied up to this. They're integral to what's been going on here. However, as we pointed out, they've been replaced several times. So it's not, I guess it isn't just that one mirror they put in. It's the mirrors in general.
Because once again, you saw it in a modern hallway mirror. I saw the boy in a snapshot, and a Polaroid. Jockey just saw it without any reflective surface.
I have a notion, just spitballing here. Wonder if she was buried with something. Wheeler died locally. She should be here somewhere. Her body. There's not going to be much left, but
I mean, there's going to be less of her than there was of that kid, and there wasn't much left of that kid.
Agreed. I'm also just wondering if there's any point to that. I mean, I think Agent Donnelly only dug up the kid partly due to his madness, where he was so certain he was seeing an alive kid, he had to confirm that the kid's body was actually, in the ground, which he did. But I'm just thinking maybe there might be something that was buried with Mrs. Wheeler that.
Then why is this happening here and not at where she's buried?
Bifurcated enchantment? I don't know what to tell you.
The problem with sitting here and brainstorming is we can come up with an infinite ideas that are not productive.
I'm currently sitting here sort of, occasionally adding to the discussion, and I'm flipping through all of our notes and newspaper articles looking.
So I suppose, we will find the pictures if we go back through those obituaries, if there were pictures. If we can find pictures of the deceased, as many as we can, and then go back to the house to try to see if Yamila had any photos.
Oh.
Yeah, and you
That
don't
she
need
took in the
obituaries for
house.
all of them. The Wheelers were well known about town because Mr. Wheeler was so successful. There's got to be a picture of him next to one of the many buildings he built in town. And
Yeah.
one of the people who bought the house, and also I think he might have been the shortest lived occupant, was that doctor who was really popular. There's got to be a
Some
picture of him in some.
businesses, law firms that these people worked at. We could get
Yeah.
photos of them.
Yeah, and the
Just to
and
confirm the mirror thing. Yeah, you can see at least 3 times that
Right.
they've been replaced.
because it also mentions that when she restored the mirrors and then her head was embedded in the mirror and
Right.
they were ruined. It ruined the mirror, so they had to redo. The next people had to also redo it.
Right.
So Donnelly also redid the mirror.
Not Donnelly.
Hold on.
So the Wheelers put the mirrors in, but something must have happened because the Creases redid the mirrors, and then they destroyed the mirrors when she got her head blown off. So somebody after that must have redone the mirrors again.
So an interesting thing about that, they had to restore the mirrors after they were the first people to move into the house.
No, well, the Creases were second after the Wheelers.
Right. So the Wheelers were the ones who put the mirror in the first place, but they
What
broke
happened
it.
to them?
Otherwise,
And
it
something
wouldn't need to be
happened.
restored.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We have these gaps here in between, like what we are.
That we're never going to be able to fill. So fixating on
I don't
that-
know about that. I have a feeling that we might be able to look in and fill some of these gaps, but I just don't exactly know where yet.
Are you going to find a newspaper article about the Wheelers shattering their own mirror? I feel like some of these things people took with them to the grave, is what I'm saying.
I don't know. I mean, more like we had like there's records of a lot. It's just they're not added together.
I can't conceive of what records these are that would tell us. Like, I don't even know where we would even start looking for that information.
Well, hold on. Let's. I think we should focus on action items because we all said a lot of good ideas here. We have Agent East's idea. Go through articles, be it an obituary or just a newspaper article about someone's accomplishments, whatever, and get names and faces together. So if we see something in the house, we'd be like, we know who that is. And then there's also the action item of going back during the day, setting up whatever recording equipment we want to, while also go back through things, take a closer look at antiques. Do you see Italian writing? Do you hear Italian anywhere? So I think split into 2 groups.
Oh.
Any objection?
Peter Diaz also restored the bedroom.
Thank you.
mirrors.
Got you. So they remained ruined until he restored them, or?
Well, I think the point is that those incredibly ugly mirrors, people keep restoring them.
Well, some say a mirror is a gateway to the soul. Or is that the eye? One of those. So
And didn't we
I
just
would like to
destroy
go
them?
back. Yeah, we just destroyed them. That was not my intent. It's the thought that counts. Okay.
So the thing is going, if we correlate all the information, if they don't try to get one of us to restore or whatever's going on in the mirrors, maybe it's going to try drawing someone else.
Well,
There's another
all the more
victim.
reason that we should get a move on. But I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm actually agreeing with you. I want to go back to the house. So call that team house. Who's team library? East, you're gonna lead team library. You're gonna, take charge on that. Who wants to go back to the house?
Well, I'm team house because
Okay, so Fox and Hermes going back to the house. Jockey and Lake, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to look into some stuff here. I'm rereading through what we have to try to point out some things that we can try to fill in. So I guess I'll be team library.
Jockey?
Safety in numbers, so I'll go to the house, even if it is daytime.
Okay, we got a plan.
Right.
Start the montage. Right. Reading the articles. Opening cabinets.
Who's going to the house? All right. We'll start with you for just a moment.
Okay.
You guys,
you have such a mischievous grin on your face, by the way.
I like leading you in directions. All right.
Okay.
So as you park the car, you can all do, well, you don't need spot hiddens. You guys look up at the door and there's a note on the front door.
Interesting.
Looks like a piece of paper's been tacked to the front door, and it's pink.
Pink?
Yeah.
The house has been fired?
Well, as you walk up to it, you look, and it's a notice from the local bank that the house is being foreclosed on. It's going to be put up for sale.
Ah, shit on a shingle.
It's not good.
If need be, Delta Green could always buy the house. So I don't think we have to worry about, oh no, the bank's going to come in and then Jane and John Smith taxpayer are going to move in all over. It's going to start all over again. No, we'll just anonymous buyer buys the house. Twice what the bank wants. Problem solved with that. Let's go on.
All right. Agent East, what were you going to do?
Start looking for photos of this damn house and the people that live there.
Okay. So you're looking through obituaries.
Pictures of this house. If there are weird things showing up in pictures, people. The trade magazines came through and took pictures trying to sell this. Realtors have taken pictures trying to sell this place. If there are weird things in any of these photos that I can find, yeah, I'm looking for photographs.
All right. So you spend a couple of hours looking through obituaries and other records, and you're able to find quite a few photographs, including one of little Anthony Toole, I don't know how his last name's pronounced. And I don't know if you've seen the little boy, but you've got the picture. You've made some copies. You find actually a picture of Mrs. Wheeler at a social club in the years following. So during the years following, you don't see any old Italian woman. You find a picture of Mr. Crease and a few of the others. So you can confirm with everybody about the sightings that they've seen.
Okay.
And you'll bring that back.
That was supposed to go to everybody. Sorry.
Agent Lake, you go to the library and start looking through.
Yeah.
You're focusing on the Wheeler era.
Right.
So this Meadowbrook was fairly small. So you're looking for local events that took place that might tie in some way or another. Let's see. Especially around 1926.
Yeah.
You find a reference to Italians, a number of Italians moving into the neighborhood, and that people aren't really happy about it. Following that, there are a few articles that are complaining about the Italians. You find this article, though, which is I guess it's a fairly strong tie-in. Yeah, you decide.
Foreigners attack mayor's son, November 1937. While strolling innocently with his friends, young and handsome Matthew Herring was assaulted by a gang of Italians near the end of Spooner Street. The leader of the gang, Anthony Di Vitale, was valiantly thwarted by Mr. Harrigan and his friends. The police were called, and Di Vitalio was taken to city jail by kicking and screaming obscenities and curses in Italian. He was held for a short period and then released to Mrs. Isabel Wheeler, who paid his bond.
Then you find this.
Harrigan tragedy, December 1937. It is with great sadness we announce the death of Matthew Harrigan. Doctors could not identify the sickness that had plagued the boy for weeks. He just wasted away, said physician Bernard Hummer. I have never seen anything like it, quote. 5 other cases have occurred locally at the same time, all related to Matthew in some way. The other 5 boys, however, have recovered and are expected to completely regain their health by spring.
You find another reference to Di Vitello, the name, from 1926.
Strange dismissal, May 1926. The Meadowbrook Sanitarium has always been an institution established to help people with their mental problems. It has some of the finest doctors around, but the sanatorium was surprised to discover that one of its employees, one Adele Di Vitalio, was practicing her own variety of mischief on the patients. Di Vitalio, an immigrant from Italy, was practicing witchcraft in the basement of the facility. One nurse said she caught Di Vitalio slaughtering a cat and drinking its blood. Others claimed she used foul language and exhibited low morality much of the time. She was dismissed from her institution for improper behavior. It is hoped that she will return to her own country.
Oh, what was the year that Wheeler got miraculously better? Was that 1926?
That's correct.
Okay.
June 1926 is when she reappeared in the public.
So if this witch finds a patient that lives all alone and she's being threatened to be deported and wants to stick around and has some kind of ability to psychically influence people, what if she just took over Wheeler's form?
I just have a
Because why would Wheeler bail out the Italian kid, and why do we hear Hermes all the way across the city?
because I'm trying to ask just a meta game question. Are you guys able to tell us that? Tell the house team or no? No.
Not at the moment. We'll tell you later.
Okay.
Agent Lake, do one last luck roll.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, it's a 44.
Very nice.
All right.
You're sort of, at this point, you're kind of suspecting a few things. So you start looking for any odd articles through the years, and you don't find too much, but you eventually find this.
Animal disappearances continue. April 1954. Meadowbrook does not seem to be an area for pets. Something is stalking our streets. Every year, at least a dozen animals, usually dogs and cats, go missing. Those carcasses that are found are always badly mutilated, as if some animal had killed them. However, no wild animals have been seen in the area. Some offer the scientific explanation that statistically such accidents are not uncommon, while others suggest a lunatic living in our midst. Earlier reports of this phenomenon go back to around 1940 and have continued to baffle the locals as well as the law enforcement for 14 years. So, 1940, 1954.
It might not be related, but then again, it might.
It might. Wonderful.
Well, unless there's recent, the problem is I'm sure we're going to find plenty of reports of animal disappearances.
Right. I will take note of all this and maybe make a couple Xeroxes of the stuff to show all the others later when we meet back up, but I'm not going to send anything over the airways.
All right. All right. So the other 3, you guys are at the house. What do you want to do?
I'm having previously discussed it with East. I'm going to set up the recording equipment he purchased per his instructions.
Okay. Where would you like to do that? It's Hermes, Hermes, Jockey, and Fox that are at the house. Okay.
Well, okay. We'll just say that master bedroom.
Okay.
I believe it was the den where it was the handprints, the wet handprints on the mirror.
No, that's in the foyer.
Okay, excuse me, the foyer.
Okay.
And I want to say the kitchen.
Okay. Something up in the kitchen. All right. So you've set those things up. You guys are, just say at the moment, you guys are all in the den.
And then I'm just gonna, turn the guys and be like, let's go through stuff again. If look for anything that's kind of, I know everything in here is an antique, but maybe something with, I don't know, writing or something scrawled on it.
No,
Tom.
to be clear, most of this stuff now is not antique. It's like Persian style furniture.
I thought you
most
started
likely
to
Isabella.
do that. I thought you started to do that and then reverse course.
Yeah.
Okay. Agreeing with me there. I'm going to go back into the dining room and just really start going through things. But what I'm looking for is where trying to find a point where Isabella's setting up her stuff and then she stops. And what's one of the first things she does setting up the old stuff?
Okay. Do an intelligence roll.
All right. Hold on. I'm off by 1 point.
Can you spend luck in this game? No. Okay. Well, as you're going through her stuff, it does suddenly dawn on you that Yamela was in the house from 2002 to 2004.
Yes.
But then she died, and Donnelly purchased the house, and he was in it for almost a year. So this looks like it might have been her stuff that he collected and stuck into a box and was going to get rid of it, or...
So it wasn't her who packed it up.
Right.
It
was probably Donnelly who packed it up.
Any photo
and
albums?
then he left a few pieces of furniture, but nothing in here seems like it would be original to the house.
Okay. All right. Well, we were told in a previous session that it looked like she was packing up, but I can see where it's actually Donnelly doing
Actually, you said that, and I didn't correct you. Because I don't correct people when they say things.
I see how it is. Aha. Well, you're technically correct. The best kind of correct. Okay. Photo albums.
No.
No? Just not a Shutterbug, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm going to give you, maybe there's a little photo album. It shows a young woman of obviously, actually, I don't think she was Persian. She was...
United Arab Emirates.
United Arab Emirates. Dressed in fairly modern clothes, so she's not exactly a traditional Muslim woman. But she seems very delighted with the house. And
she was enamored with it, even just by
right,
driving by.
And then no more photos. I mean, the photos just stop. And there's probably pictures of her family and stuff like that. But
I mean, I'm gonna then look in the places that we didn't, and Fox and Jack, if you have any ideas. But I'm thinking like, look behind that armoire that's behind the wall. What's on the underside of the dining room table? I mean, just
okay.
peek in the
All
corners.
Right. So you're doing that. Fox, what are you doing?
I'm sticking close to Hermes because I don't think I should be alone. Even though I am, I still...
You're freaked out.
I want to explore, and I want to keep doing my random experiments like I did with Thing, but I'm also worried I might kill myself.
You're freaked out. Jockey, what are you doing?
Tommy asked me to roll a power roll. I rolled 100.
Okay.
Yeah, and I rolled a
So I don't know
77.
that. I don't know if that changes what I can do.
It's for later.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And then I follow in suit with the gentleman.
All right. So we'll say Hermes is taking the lead, and Fox is practically on his back because
Breathing
he's
down
nervous.
his neck.
And then you're right
Little
behind
room,
him.
little room, please.
Jockey, as Hermes is checking the underside of tables and looking through things and trying to make sure, and Agent Fox is standing there looking around nervously. You suddenly get the impression that someone small has just come up beside you and is sort of leaning on you just a little bit. And your hand is at your side, and it suddenly feels like someone cold and wet, a little tiny hand, has taken your hand and is holding your hand. How do you want to react? Oops, you're muted.
Sorry. Heart palpitations and my breathing goes unsteady.
Okay.
And I just look down to my hand.
There's nothing there, but you can definitely feel what feels like a little child holding your hand. You can do a sanity roll if you want to.
Yeah, definitely.
Nothing seems to be doing anything dangerous. It's just...
No, passed. What I was actually going to do was I was going to take the little, out of my blazer pocket, the little, what's it called? The paper mache airplane.
Okay. The balsa wood airplane.
Balsa wood, sorry, yeah. And even though I can't see anything, Jockey's going to, with his free hand, sort of try and place it in his other hand.
Bring it down.
Yeah.
All right. For just a moment, you let go of the airplane, and it hovers there in the air. And then it suddenly sails off across the room, and you don't feel anything holding your hand any longer.
I know it's scary, but that's actually quite sad.
Do a listen roll.
Yeah. I passed the sanity, by the way. And yeah, I passed the listen roll as well.
Yeah, you think you can hear a kid giggling in the other room. Probably the bedroom where with the kid's wallpaper.
If the two other fellas are walking ahead of me, I'll slink off to the back and follow the sound.
Okay. So you're going to go to the room?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're saying. Okay. All right. So you walk across the den and into the hallway, and you look into the room, and when you do, the little boy is standing in the middle of the room. Like I say, he's blue, his skin, and he's dripping wet. And he's looking up at you as you walk in the room. And he says, "What are you doing in my house?"
We're trying to find out what's keeping you here. Don't you want to be free?
He doesn't respond. And the more you look at him, the more he almost seems frozen in time, almost like just a still picture floating in the air. And you blink your eyes and he's gone. But there's a puddle of water on the floor where he was standing. You can do a sanity roll.
So gross. That one I failed.
All right. Do a 1d4.
That is 2 points of sanity damage.
All right. Hermes, you don't really find anything unusual. But you do notice. Do a spot hidden for me, or what is it? A perception, awareness.
Sure, I will do that. I am just not.
Yeah, awareness if it's passive, searching if it's active.
That was a 78. That can't be.
Agent Fox, why don't you do one too? Because you're doing actually more observing.
Oh, what is? Oh my god! This is the second 77 in a row because that was my power roll, and that is. So that's a.
You're staring intently at the back of Agent Hermes' head.
At a one strand of hair that is just poking out like it's a long bit of hair.
What?
All right, so Agent Hermes, you kind of crawl around for a bit, and then you get up. I mean, there's nothing in the dining room that you haven't already looked at quite a lot.
Okay.
Were you going to go somewhere else in the house?
Master bedroom.
Oh, you're going to go back in the master bedroom.
Well,
Fox
I'm not going to meta in and say no, I'm not, even though you
Agent Fox, are you going to follow him back into the master bedroom?
Fox is staying outside of the master bedroom.
Bring it on.
So Hermes walks into the master bedroom all alone. There is still the shattered mirror. There's 2 shattered mirrors. So imagine, if you will, there's 3 mirrors that make up that whole wall. One of them you've broken. There's half of it lying on the floor. The other one's got a big smash mark in the middle of it, and spider webs sort of like cracks in it going out from there. And the middle one's still intact.
There wouldn't happen to be a broom somewhere, would there?
Yes, there probably is. Maybe in the garage or.
I'm gonna fetch the broom. Just sweep the glass.
Okay.
Just into a pile. I'm not throwing it away.
I don't think it's a good idea that you should be in there. I think we should avoid.
I just want to check out the bed.
But we smashed the glass. What if whatever it is angry and
it's daytime?
So
who knows?
Hermes, you're going to go out to the garage to get the broom?
Yes, I'm gonna get the broom.
You open up the garage door. I mean, the door to the garage, from the inside.
Yes.
And you flip on the light, and you can see the broom and other things there. And as you do, you hear a noise from over your head up in the rafters.
The rafters.
And you're pretty sure for a moment that there is a bird or maybe something else up there flopping around. You remember the bird that came out of the chimney, but that went out the front door. Maybe there's another bird or a bird's nest, or you don't really see any way for it to get in. The garage is newer than most of the rest of the house.
Sure.
But you're pretty sure something's flopping around up there that you can't quite see.
Put a pin in that.
Okay. All right. So you leave there and you go into the room. We'll see you found a dustpan and a broom.
Okay.
You want to clean up the mirror.
I just want to put the glass in a pile in the corner of the room so people don't step on it.
Okay.
You got to be safe when you're, examining a house that's trying to kill you.
All right. That's easy enough. Do a power roll.
Okay. Let's try that. Nope. That's a failure.
Right. That's a failure.
The dice are not with me tonight.
So there are a number of large pieces of glass. And then there are lots and lots of little pieces that you've done it.
Well, focus on the little ones.
You're sweeping it all into the glass, and you're making a pile. And the pile of mirrors is maybe 5 inches high, with the big pieces sort of on the thing. And as you look at the pile of mirrors, you see your own reflection a couple of dozen times looking back at you, and you notice a woman standing behind you. She's dressed in what would be something comparable to the 1920s, but for a lady, not like a flapper, but like an elegant lady, an elegant lady. And she's standing there and she's smiling at you. And that's where we will break for tonight.
Oh, I just want to say, Mrs. Wheeler? Oh.
Do that next time. All right.
That was amazing. That was great.
Our players included John Dos Passos, Howard Fries, Morgan Llewellyn, Mark Anthony, and Josh Harwood, with myself as the keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. There's a link below. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows, free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and Delta Green role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.